Hello and welcome again to this week's episode of the Echo Tips podcast. In this week's episode, we're going to be dealing with an interesting theme, and that is resources for finding out more things you can do or new things you can do with your Amazon Echo. And so we're going to highlight maybe some resources that have been mentioned previously, but maybe some new ones you might find very interesting as well. But before we get into that in any sort of detail, we're going to go to a brief message about our podcast, and then we'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by the New Vision program at Goodwill. We're also grateful for the kind use of WVTF Studios. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments living in Southwest Virginia. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving the New River, Roanoke, and Shenandoah Valleys of Virginia. Goodwill's mission services help individuals with disabilities and disadvantages to get back to work and gain greater independence. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Hello, welcome back to the Echo Tips podcast. As I mentioned earlier, today's episode is going to be dealing with ways in which you can keep up with what's new on your Amazon Echo. Now, first off, before I get into that, and some of the new things we've never mentioned on a podcast before, about how you can learn about how to learn new things, I'd like to first welcome our new listeners who are tied in with us today, and just tell you a little bit about the podcast. So we deal with little nuggetized episodes that teach you new things you can do on your Echo, changes in equipment, hardware. Sometimes we revisit older topics that may have got past some of our new listeners or got buried in the onslaught of the new things you can do. And lastly, also skills we sometimes touch on that might be especially effective and useful. Okay, so that's all about our show, about me, the instructor. I'm David Ward, an assistive technology instructor with the New Vision program at Goodwill. And also for our returning listeners, we thank you for listening. We're about to break 60,000 listens to our episodes, and we really appreciate your listenership. So both returning listeners and new listeners, if you'd like to reach out to us about ideas for future shows, or express your appreciation, you're welcome to share your thoughts on Twitter or Facebook at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and just drop us a note and let us know what you think. Additionally, you can find out a little more about our program if you're interested at goodwillvalleys.com/newvision. Okay, so let's get right into this material. So as some of you may know, going back several years, we had a grant to buy Amazon Echoes for seniors in our community over a course of several, at least 2 years. And so I have a lot of hands-on experience setting up Amazon Echoes, probably well over 150 different models I've set up many times in people's homes, set them up here with different settings and services for students. And so we have a lot of experience, not to mention the workshops and the like, and even setting them up for activity directors at assisted living homes. But there's always new things coming out, and the software is always updating. And so many ask, how do I keep up with what's going on? Well, one of the more simple things you can do is to follow along with the weekly newsletter. Now, if you've purchased your Echo through Amazon with your Amazon account, you probably were automatically enrolled in that, or when you set up your A-Lady account on your Echo, you probably already been subscribed to that. But in case you missed it, and the nomenclature has changed over the years, it used to be called What's New with A-Lady. That used to be the title of the emails. Recent times it's changed to Keeping Up with Alexa, I think is what it's called. By the way, I am going to say the A-Lady name a few times, so if you do have an Echo in listening distance of me, you may want to shut its ears off so I don't trigger your Echo. But so that in recent times has changed its name, and if you didn't know about that and you've been filtering your email, maybe all your Amazon email goes into a folder, you might want to just check that folder and make sure you haven't been missing it. Now, it doesn't, I'd say about 80 to 90% of it is usually rehashing things that it's been doing for a long time, the Echo, but you occasionally will see little trinkles come out, and I'll catch them. I'll be like, wow, that's new. And you learn about something new. Or if they're going to debut a new third-party service or something like that, maybe a new music provider or something like that, you're going to probably see it there first. But that's not the only place you can go. But first off, I recently discovered how you subscribe to that if you weren't already subscribed. Now, I had to take a bullet for you guys and unsubscribe to find out the right page and name for that newsletter, and then resubscribe. But if you have a web browser open on your computer and you Google Amazon email subscriptions, and you go to the Amazon web page, there's several pages that might be listed there. I think it's probably the second or third one, where it lists different types of email subscriptions. And you can click on a variety of the different newsletters. I think if you click on any one of those, it will take you to the next page, a listing of where you can browse newsletters that Amazon provides, and then your currently subscribed newsletters. Now, if you don't see that you're currently subscribed under that tab, you'll want to go over to the Browse section, and it's an A to Z listing. And despite the fact that the A-Lady name, or Alexa, is used many, many different times throughout different types and categories of newsletters, the one that you want, the oldest and the goodie that's been there for the longest time, is actually listed under Echo Newsletter. So you want to go down to the Ease and Echo Newsletter, click that. That will drop down a little menu and it'll say, would you like to subscribe to that? And it mentions what it does, what's new with the Echo and Alexa devices. So you'll subscribe there. Now, alternatively, something else you can do is just get kind of a roundup or roll-up of all the different things that are happening. And I've mentioned this in our monthly newsletter for a long time, which you can subscribe to at goodwillvalleys.com/newvision at the bottom of the page. But I had kind of forgotten it was there and how valuable it is. So I went and burrowed into that again as well. The easiest way to find that is just Google Alexa blog. That's BLOG. And your first probably email list, your first link listing under Google is going to be something to do with developer.amazon.com. You don't want that one. It's probably the very next link after that, the Alexa blog. And you'll click on that, and on that, at the top, it will have a few headliners, like maybe they're featuring some topics about the new Samuel L. Jackson skill, or they're talking about new routine features. But if you scroll past that, it will have a monthly roundup for the month of November, October, September, each month, and you can click on that, and then it's basically a change log of sorts. I don't think it's exhaustive, but it lists quite a few things in a very quick succession of new features that have been added to the Amazon Echo. And I found it really super helpful. And some of those even have additional links, like they're rolling out a whole new service we're going to talk about in a new a newer episode to come in the future. It's called, I think, Care Hub, which is specifically geared towards enabling a feature set on the Echoes designed for caregivers with elderly loved ones or seniors they're trying to assist with. And it's pretty cool. It's kind of a different take on the household feature, which we covered in season 1, I believe, but kind of geared in a different way. And it's also designed so you can stay informed, but also has some privacy protections and stuff. So, but I would have never found out about that if I hadn't looked at that Alexa blog and the monthly roundup. I think that was for the month of November. Okay, so what are some other resources that you can dig into to find out about your Echo? Well, one, of course, is staying tuned with our episodes. But one of my favorite podcasters in the same space is Robin Christofferson. And he's out of the UK, and he's a very talented guy, and he makes us look like we're standing still because he's gone over 1,000 episodes of his podcast called Dot to Dot. And so if you simply Google Dot to Dot podcast, or you look it up in one of your podcast players of choice, or you just walk over to your Echo and say, A Lady play the Dot to Dot podcast, she'll play it. She'll find it. When in doubt, you can always say play on the on Apple, and it'll search the Apple database, because I know it's there. And his newest podcast is also on the Amazon Music podcast database as well. He does something very different than us. We're more geared towards feature improvements and changes and things like that. But he really tackles skills on a day-to-day basis. So that's the applications that you can get, which there's well over, I can't believe it. It's got to be over 200,000 or 300,000 by now. It's probably over 500,000. I haven't looked in a while. But he tackles those, and he does it on a daily basis. I don't know if it's 7 days a week. I think it's at least 5 days a week. He covers new skills, and he does it basically in under 5 minutes. So it's a real quick way for you to learn about new skills and features, and he's just got an onslaught of information there. And we even do little segments for Robin's podcast there at times too. Okay, now the other thing that I wanted to mention too, and we're even going to play a little demo reel of it, kind of a little demo that Robin gave me, is a new podcast that he's on, where he also has a co-host, or they're both co-hosts of this podcast. It's called the Echo Show Podcast. I was about to say the Echo Show, but it's the Echo Show Podcast. And it's a longer form than the Dot to Dot. It's definitely over 5 minutes, but I don't think it's terribly long, maybe 10, 15 minutes long. And they both kind of do head-to-heads with different skills they're familiar with, or maybe they'll different, categories of skills, and then rate them as well, and even do demonstrations. So that's pretty cool. All right. So anyway, him and his co-host are a little goofy on that show, but I'm going to go to a segment about that right now, and then I'll come back with some closing thoughts.
Hello. Stop it now.
Go on.
Hello, I'm Sean. Do you love smart speakers? More importantly, do you love the Echo? Well, good news! We've got a show for you, The Echo Show. To tell you more, here's Robin.
Thanks, Sean. Let's have a flavour of what's in store. How's about that?
That was absolutely awful. We'll never do that again. Let's move on. Yes, I'm ready. What? Was that a joke?
It's going to be another 2. It's going to be a 2 thumbs upper.
All right, you're going to have to limit yourself at some point, Robin.
No. I could go up from 2.
Oh, I always love the escape room ones. Let's go with that.
Okay, good. Good choice. Ominous.
You are on the street. You have 0 gold coins.
I thought, hello, he's a Geordie. You've got no accent at all. You sound like the Queen.
Man, I loved it. This is one of my favourite skills. Just look at what you had there.
Hello, my name's Pete and this is my pub quiz. Next up, history. This is a royal question. Gotta love the royals, ain't-ya?
Yeah.
Well, firstly, I've got to say, I think you were absolutely rubbish at it. I mean, what were you doing? We're gonna demo them and we're gonna rate them with our thumbs, apparently. So that's good. I can't wait. And if you still want to listen after hearing that, why not check out The Echo Show podcast?
That's good.
The
Echo
Show. That sounds weird, doesn't it? I'm saying show weird.
So there you go. That's Robin Christofferson's new podcast, The Echo Show Podcast, and you might find that interesting, and you can ask for your Echo of that right away. I just did it today. Not a problem. It played right away, the most current episode. And I think he's putting those out on a weekly basis. Okay, well, that brings this episode to a close. It's time to start practicing some of the many things that you've learned. If you'd like to reach out to us, as I mentioned earlier, you can do so on Facebook or Twitter. Or if you're interested in sponsorship opportunities, you're welcome to reach out to our development team at development@goodwillvalleys.com. But until next time, start practicing some of those many things that you've learned, and we thank you for listening.
Thanks, Dave. In conclusion, let me tell you a thing or two. This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and it is also made possible in part by a grant from Community Foundation serving Western Virginia. And there's more. We're also grateful for the kind use of WVTF Studios. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments living in Southwest Virginia. For more information, check out our website at goodwillvalleys.com/newvision. with no spaces. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a non-profit organization serving the New River, Roanoke, and Shenandoah Valleys of Virginia. Goodwill's mission programs help individuals with disabilities and disadvantages to get back to work and gain greater independence. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Thanks for listening.